good, people? So, man, I done had a few people message me about, buying a truck. And I'm gonna keep it real, man, because I can't be the one to tell you how you should go about getting a truck. That's something for you to figure out. You know what I'm saying? What I could do is I'll tell you what I would have did if I can go back to that day. You heard me? Instead of going out and go put money down and get a truck and, whatever. If I could go back, I would have took the advice of the older guys that been doing this longer, and I would have went bought me a truck cash, man. Like, you think about your first truck in hindsight, you heard me? And in hindsight, my first truck should have been something older. Even though, this was a used truck when I got it, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no new truck. But if I could still go back, I would have went and got something that I could buy cash. You heard me? Between 10, 25,000, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Maybe one of more International Eagles or Freightliner Columbia, FLD Classic, whatever the case. You heard me? If I could go back in time, I would have bought something cash. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just had a subscriber tell me he takes the winter off. Imagine that. Now, I don't know if he got a truck payment or not, but he said he don't drive during the winter. And realistically, could I do that? I could, but it'll hurt me more now having a truck payment than what it would if I didn't have one. You know what I'm saying? And the longer I'm in this, the more I realize, like, it's just that first truck, man, like, the goal should have been, right? Because your overhead already lower because you don't have a truck payment. You heard me? So, really understanding the expenses that go along with being an owner-operator, taxes, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot. It's a lot, man. It ain't just go get a truck and then get out here running as an owner-operator, man. It's a lot of expenses that go along with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So the more you minimize the amount of bills you got, the better you'll have the potential to do if you got a truck that ain't sucking it out of you. You know what I'm saying? And that's usually the determining factor. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't want to take a chance on an older truck, and then they got to dump a bunch of money to keep it on the road. At the same time, you got plenty of guys going out and buy cash, but they making sure they check these trucks out. And, them trucks is paying for themselves within 2-3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? A month's time, the truck done paid for itself. You hear me? Versus me going and get a used truck, $80,000. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if I could go back, I would have bought me something cash, man. And I'm not telling nobody else to go buy no truck cash, because the last thing I want is for somebody to do something that I say, because I'm still a rookie, man. I ain't necessarily the one you should really be getting no life-changing information from when it comes to buying no truck. This is my first one. You know what I'm saying? I think the better people to ask when it comes to that kind of stuff is the dude that done did it over and over again. He got his first truck, boom. Got his second truck, boom. Got so on and so forth. I can just say, if I could do it differently, I would have went and got one cash, man. You know what I'm saying? Even though my truck payment ain't all that expensive, but it's still something. And that's still money that could be in the bank if I didn't have a truck payment. and so on. So honestly, that would be my advice, man, to anybody thinking about jumping out here. I would say have your money, and I don't mean just have enough money to get the truck, man. You got to be prepared for this kind of stuff, and I think that's what stray a lot of people from doing that. You know what I'm saying? People want to go out and go like lease a truck, and personally, I don't think nothing is wrong with leasing no trucks. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the game. Swift lease probably 90% of that fleet that they got, 17,000 trucks. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't saying nothing wrong with that. You ain't gonna hear that from me. But I do hear the older heads when they say about buying that first truck cash though. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? I would say have you some money. I would say whatever the truck costs, have almost 2 times that. So you go pay 15 grand for a truck, I would say at least have 30 in the bank, man. Just in case, man. Cause you don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen. And the last thing you want to do is get out here and then fail because you don't have the money to fix the truck. You know what I mean? So I would say have at least 2 times what the truck costs. And I'm talking as far as buying it cash. Obviously, if you go put 10 grand down, you don't need to have $300,000 in the bank. Yeah, that'll be sweet, but you go put 10,000 down on a 150 grand truck. I don't expect you to have 2 times that money. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, you know, these trucks you can go buy cash, older trucks typically. Yeah, man, you gotta have that money. You gotta have that money for the what ifs. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be stuck somewhere and then you don't have the money to even get the truck towed or what, you know, whatever the case may be. So you need to have a little nest egg on top of what it costs to get your truck, man. And there's some dudes that they don't do that, man. You know, some dudes get out here, go buy them a truck. They don't have a whole lot of money, but the truck lasts long enough to build them some capital up. And then, you know, before you know it, they doing just fine. I wouldn't recommend that. Like I said, I would recommend having you a little nest egg, man, for the rainy days. You heard me? Because they gonna come. Ain't no if, it's a when. They gonna come, even with this newer truck. You know what I'm saying? I done had a problem with my newer truck. So it's all things to think about, man. 10 different ways to get a truck. You need to be able to, you need to research, figure out which one of them ways is gonna work for you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get on leasing. I know some dudes with some good, I know a lot of good, like really good leases. So I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say don't lease no truck, but I mean, don't go get no dumbass lease where, you know, you're paying $3,000 a month and look, that's another video. You heard me? But yeah, man, those of y'all that want to do it, that would be my advice. Find you a good mechanic. Find the truck that you want. Have that mechanic go and look that truck over bumper to bumper. You know what I'm saying? I would say take that shit down to the dealership, go get it dynoed, go whatever. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that it's a good truck. But yeah, if I could go back, that's what I would have did. That's what I would have did, man. $20,000 a year, that could be going into the bank. I'm putting into a truck. And I had the money. I mean, I got it now, but when I had the money at first, I could have just bought a truck cash. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to go against the grain, despite I had a lot of good people that know what they're doing telling me maybe you should buy a truck cash. Nah, I want that newer thing, me. You hear me? I want the newer thing that come with all of the inverters in there and all that fancy shit. Again, in hindsight, none of this shit don't mean nothing, man. You know, this it don't mean nothing, man. Don't get caught up in that image, you know, in such a materialistic manner where you worried about what the truck looked like and this, that, and the other. Man, that truck could look like whatever the fuck it want. I see plenty of busted trucks with Landstar, old, beat up, you know, Volvos. I'm talking about the older Volvos, beat the hell. But that dude ain't got no truck payment, and I guarantee you he bringing home a whole lot more money than the rest of us with these truck payments. You heard me? Because at the end of the day, all this truck need to be able to do is, I mean, at least keep me somewhat comfortable while I'm out here on the road, for one. But the goal is to just to be able to tug this box around. As long as it can pull this box from point A to point B, man, that's a good truck. Fuck what anybody else may tell you. Oh man, you gotta have shit, I don't know, whatever the fancy shit these trucks got in the day. You don't need all that, man. You don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? And then you think about, you got a paid off truck, so you could take way more time off. Shit, you ain't got to worry about having all this lavish shit in no truck. When you can go, you know what I'm saying, go pull a load, boom, shit, I'm going home. You heard me? Whatever your personal bills is at the house, go run enough for that, go back to the house, man. You know, obviously depending on your goals, but yeah, don't get caught up in that shit, man. Don't go out and go get no $3,000 truck as your first truck, man. I feel like it's a mistake. Some people might not feel it's a mistake. It's all good. Everybody entitled to their opinion. I ain't gonna tell you what's wrong with what you doing, man. That's your business. You grown. I'm grown. I'm just telling you, if I could go back, what I would have did. You heard me? So that's that. I mean, I do know a lot of places you can go to get trucks. So I mean, if you want, just leave a comment. I guess I'll give you a list of places, but that's my advice, man. Do with that whatever you want. So I'll catch y'all, man.